Welcome back, guys. Before we jump into Timelapse, a few things that I want to do, because we need to start turning this into a theme park. And several of you have commented and said, you know, when are you going to put rides in? When are you going to put rides in? Yeah, well, we're going to start putting some rides in now. One thing I am going to do, I'm going to get rid of that skull because it's annoying me. Get rid of it. Right. Where are we going to put rides in, and what rides are we going to put in? Well, I thought, like, at the back in front of the main building, it'd be really nice to have like a big feature ride. And I thought, hey, you know, like maybe put the Star Wheel in there. But as you'll see, like putting the Star Wheel in there is kind of like if you were to put the Star, you know what? Let's just raise it up, right? So that it's not like bright red. And it's like, yeah, you know, I don't know, maybe, but I kind of don't like the orange sun thing. I don't think it really works. And then I realised, well, we've got an alternative now. Let's get rid of you. We got an alternative, and boy, this works so well. The radius. Now, if we turn this around so that it's like fairly straight. Now, if we were to put this in here, let's just straighten up a little bit more. And again, let's raise it up so that it's, and this is like more blue and white, and it's got those lovely blue supports, right? And then I thought, hang on a second, like we're probably going to have some kind of thing on the top of here. Well, not probably. We are going to have some kind of thing on the top of here, and I think it might be kind of nice for this to frame that. So if we just lifted this up a bit, there-ish. And then it kind of frames that central piece. So, like, when you walk into the park, you've got that framing, that center part at the top. And, like, from wherever you look, it's kind of just bringing your eye into that part there. Which I think that is kind of nice. And obviously, we're going to put this, like, on a terrace. So I'll probably extend this across here. Maybe set back slightly. And then, I don't know, we'll have some nice stairs going up to it at the front. How about that? Now, obviously, I need to take this sunken terrace and duplicate it over here, but we're not going to do that quite yet because we're going deeper underground. We're going to go down to the Underworld, and we're going to be doing some stuff down there. And the problem with the Underworld is it's absolutely pitch black. Let me just show you very quickly. We'll come back to the rides in a second. If I go down here, like even with the Pillar of Flame, right? Which I thought the Pillar of Flame would like illuminate this place. It doesn't. It is absolutely pitch black down here. So if we're going to be able to do anything, and I've actually got some ideas for what we're going to do. Let's get the hell out of here. There we go. We're going to need to be able to see. It would kind of help, wouldn't it? So what we're actually going to do is dig some holes. And I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to do that now. Like, what the hell? God, it's a long way down. Now, I can't believe that we haven't hit the cave already. Let's go down a bit further. Ah, there we go. There we go. That's what we want. Right, let's open that up. Now, obviously, this hole is going to be closed off eventually, but it's just so that we can see what the hell we're doing down here. Now, we extend this down and get rid of some more of this terrain. We can actually see bits of the cave. Oh, look! Let there be light. Let's push this back a bit. There we go. There we go. God, it's nice when you can actually see what the hell you're doing. What I'm going to be doing is in the center here, where the Pillar of Flame is, there's going to be kind of like a volcano under here. And it's going to be up to probably about this kind of level will be the top. Because this still goes up a hell of a way. Right? So, and it's going to be, there's going to be like molten lava, and there's going to be, yeah, it's going to be red and flames and all that. If I was doing this again, I might do the Underworld first and then do the stuff on top afterwards. Let's go down, 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 down. Really, that hasn't broken through yet? Kind of a surprise. Let's open it up Is that broken through? Can't tell. Ah, yeah, it's broken through over there now. Ah, there we go. There we go. Let me see a bit more. Ooh, yeah, you can actually start to see at least some of the features in the cave. And the more we push that back, the more it's letting the light in. So yeah, we may have to do that in a few places. Maybe. So that we can see what the hell we're doing. Alright, anyway. Enough about that. Let's finish putting the rides in. So, because I think I've got some kind of cool ideas. Right, over here, we've got this kind of long strip. Does that lend itself to a particular ride? I think it does, guys. I think it does. I think this is a perfect spot to put in the genie. So, I'm thinking we have the genie in over there. Cool. Awesome sauce. Now, I need to put a bit of terrain in. So, let's just go to this and... Oh, now, I need to make sure... Yeah, scenery locks aren't good. Alright, I'm just going to fill this in a bit. Doesn't have to be like all the way, but like that. Oh, let's do this one as well. What the hell. So let's fill that up a bit. And then we've got to get these up as well. Right. Oh, come on. There we go. Right, let's go flatten foundation. Yeah, so where do we want it? We want it about there. Cha-ching. And then we'll fill this in. There we go. Lovely. Alright, cool. So we can put stuff in there now. The same applies to these, but I think these are just going to be garden terraces. I don't think there's going to be any rides or anything in there. And obviously this is going to be duplicated over here eventually. Rides. More rides. Okay, what rides are we going to put in? I'm thinking to have like a fairly big feature ride over here, which would be the hammer swing. I think. I am like 100% decided, but I think the hammer swing is going to go in there. Now, on these terraces, and I don't want this to be symmetrical, like, because it's very, very symmetrical at the moment, and I want to create some differing things. So over here, we're going to have this fountain, which is going to be running, or this stream with stuff coming down through here and then down here. But it's going to have to go, I think it's going to come like through here, and then here it's going to go around the edges. And so in here, we're going to put, rides, bonehead, we're going to put the Cycola, because it's quite small, and that'll allow us to have the stream going around the outside. Excellent. Over here, I think we're going to do something maybe different. And you know what? I did think about putting... No, you know what? The Cycola is going to go up on this level. Up there, I think. Yeah, and that should just leave us room to get the stream going down the sides and then coming around the front, and then it'll come through the centre of here, I think. Over here, it's going to be different. This one's going, I think, is going to come through maybe the centre and then go around the outside, because we're putting a bigger ride in. We're going to be putting in here, I think, the Skye Ace, because I think that's going to be quite cool in there. Yeah, liking that. Alright, now, over here, oh no, over here, because we've got this stream going through the middle, we want some kind of smaller rides. And one ride that I definitely want to put in is, where are you? The kickflip. I think the kickflip is a really cool ride. So I'm thinking we have the kickflip maybe kind of over there. And then in this area here, we have Insanity. Now, the only question I've got is like which way it should be aligned. Should it be aligned like that? Or like that? Or should it actually be angled? And I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to have to play around with it and see. But for now, I'm going to put it in angled. Just, you know, to be a bit different. So, we've got those going on. Now, I want some, this area out front. I don't know, I think I'm going to end up putting a bit of a main street kind of thing in. There's going to be shops and whatever down here. And I think we're going to have like a kiddies area. So I'm thinking that we put in the aeronauts over in this area, and then on the other side we have the whirly rig. Where's the whirly rig? Here's the whirly rig. And we want it angled so it's kind of facing the entrance. So somewhere around there. Now, over here, and again I need to just do a quick bit of work with the terrain. Just take that a little bit further back. Now, I'm not planning on having any rides like around the back here. There's just going to be the Screaminator. Oh, while I think about the Screaminator, now, right now, you can see that this is quite a long distance from this front edge. I would actually like this to be lined up with this. This is 2 tiles here. What I'd like is 2 tiles at the back and then put in the back wall. So I'd like this closer in, but we can't get it closer in at the moment. Haha, well, we are going to get it closer in. If I edit this building and remove this strip, which we don't need, that doesn't need to be there. That's why I couldn't get it any closer before. But yeah, if we remove this strip here, boom, 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 get rid of that, done. Then we can move this baby forwards. Move, and yeah, see, we can get this right in nice and close. About there. I did need to flatten this terrain a little bit. Now, does that get us? Yeah, I'll see, perfect. Absolutely perfect. The centre of this pole is lined up with this, which means we can stick it. Well, in fact, should we do it? Let's do it. 3, 4, and then there, right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, I can't wait to do the interior of that. That's going to be so cool. And so every so often you're going to see the ride like pop up above here and then drop down. That's going to be sweet. And there's going to be like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to put up here yet, but there's going to be something. I'll come up with some stupid idea. Like I always do. Now, I'm not going to put in the forge because I don't know, the big metal arms or these grapples on the end, they just don't work in here, I don't think. So now the 360 power, that one I actually do want in here. Kind of like that idea. And then maybe we put the magic twirl in here, and maybe we put the like once I get rid of this stuff, maybe we find another spot for the whirly rig somewhere around here. Do you think that's a good plan? Yeah, I think so. So you know what, let's get rid of this one for now, and we'll put this over here. There we go. Right, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. We still need something back here. Something like there. Should this be at the front and this at the back? Would that make more... I think that would make more sense, wouldn't it? You know what? Let's do that there-ish. Alright. Cool. So there we go. There's our ride. So we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 rides in the park. Now that's the flat rides. Coasters, I think there's going to be 3. There's going to be a To Heaven and Back ride, which is going to be around the main park. And then there's going to be the To Hell and Back ride, which is going to take you down into the underground cavern and round the whole flaming volcano and all that kind of stuff. Now, I have thought, probably the same as many of you, of having the coaster actually come up in the middle of the Pillar of Fire. It's not outside the realms of possibility. I don't know. Until I actually play around with that ride, I don't know. And then I think there's going to be a third coaster, and I'm not entirely sure what that coaster's going to do. It may go into both, or it may be just like, I don't know. Okay, enough wittering. Shut up. We want to watch the time lapse. So, let's get on with them in a time lapse. This is what you've been waiting for. And we're going to start off with blending the park into the rest of the terrain. And this is kind of the first time that I've used the terrain tools like for what they're like properly supposed to do, which is just like create like, you know, kind of rough terrain and whatever. And they're kind of okay. I wouldn't say that this is an exceptional toolkit. Some of the tools could be like a lot better and a lot more useful. I'd still like the ability. I guess I'm spoiled by the SimCity tools. They just kind of let you do what you want, and you've got the different brushes and stuff like that. Whereas these are, I don't know. I suppose for some things they may be better, but for some things they're just kind of a bit of a pain, to be honest. But I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm not gonna complain because, as you can see, like after a while, you know, you do 2 or 3 passes on it, and you get what you want. You can get what you want, and at the end of the day, you know, the game is still in alpha, so we'll kind of see how it ends up. I really do hope that by the time this goes live, they've maybe done something with different brushes or something, because just having a round brush is a little bit limiting. The other thing is that I wish there was a way to kind of blend into the outside terrain, but I guess they are supposed to be creating bigger plot sizes, like about 4 times the size of this. And if that's the case, then it's kind of not really going to be a problem. But like here, it's just a shame that you can't blend it into the outside a bit more. Because I've got this kind of line of trees going around the outside. I'd like to put some trees kind of outside the white line. But then you always want a bit more space, don't you? God, we're so greedy. Always want a little bit more. So what I'm doing, I'm just going around with the different types of trees. And I've already used like the 3... I can't even remember what the hell they're called. And, well, I've used the 3 sizes of one type of tree, and now I'm using the 3 sizes of the other type of tree. And just, you know, just trying to kind of make it, you know, look like some kind of fairly natural trees. And this should hopefully start to get us moving in the direction of what the park is going to look like ultimately. Now, having done that, paths, now... You probably thought that I was going to go with all like straight paths. Oh no! Oh no! The paths are going to be all curvy, and this, you're going to start to see the park take kind of a different direction now. Because up until now it's all been like straight lines and like flat terraces and whatever. That's all about to change. Because once I've put these paths in, we're going to start messing around with the terrain on these terraces. Yep, it's not going to be flat. This bit of terrain here did weird things. I don't know why. It was really weird. It was just creating this like dimple for like no apparent reason. Anyway, what I wanted here was to create, I don't know, like just a little feature in this area. Because obviously there isn't a ride here. So I thought, you know, how about we try and put in like just a little pond with some, you know, surround it with some flowers and trees and stuff, and just like start to play around with the terrain tools and see what I can do with them. And what I found was that, like, if you're going to put water in, like, take it a little... I should have taken the water tiles, like, a bit further down, because they if the ground is too thin, it shows through, and you get this really horrible flickering, which you can kind of see. And I'm trying to cover it up. The problem is that you can't raise the terrain like close to the path. So in the end, I had to just like take the little pond back a little bit, and then it's just a case of like, you know, decorate it with a few plants and trees and whatever. And now that we've got some different types of plants, it's so much easier. There's so much more freedom. And as we get more and more stuff in the game, it's just going to get better and better. Like these little red bushes, I found that if you kind of stack them together, you can actually kind of create... Like, whereas up until now, we've been kind of like sinking stuff into the ground to create a new item by kind of removing a large part of a prop. Now you can do the other thing. You can start to put props together more, I think, with what we've got now. And yeah, so here I want to raise up the genie and have that on some raised terrain. And as we go through the different rides, you'll see I'm going to kind of do different things with the different rides to try and just create, like, you know, it's all about creating a little bit of interest and doing things a little bit differently. And I'm starting to get the hang of the terrain tools now and learning like what you need to do to kind of get the effect that you want to get, when you need to smooth it and when you need to push it or pull it or whatever. So on this side, the terrain's like pretty much all going to be just like raised up into little hills and stuff, but it's not going to be like that everywhere. Oh no. One thing I did find was when I was playing around with this was trying to figure out, because this ride has a front and a back, and to be honest, it would be better off like placed like up against something, you know, like with something behind it to kind of cover at the back. So I'm thinking I might have some fairly largish trees behind it or something to kind of cover up the back. I don't know. We're going to have to see how that pans out. So yeah, this one's on another little elevated area. I like these little elevations. They're kind of cool. And then this one is going to be in a sunken area, because obviously it's a little bit bigger than the others. So I thought, yeah, how about we just kind of sink this down? And then we're going to have fun kind of creating the entrance and exits to each of these, because we'll have little bridges and stuff. And I must admit, I did kind of think about having this one in a lake, and it may end up that way. I may end up putting a lake, just fill it with blue tiles, and then lift the ride up a little bit again, and have it sitting in a little lake. And the more I think about it, the more I like that idea. And then I thought again, well, let's do something different with the pirate ship, with the Victory. The Victory, that's what this ride's called. And so I thought, yeah, well, let's kind of split the mound in half and have the Victory kind of sitting like plopped in the middle of it, which kind of worked, I think. So having got the rides done, I then wanted to start work on the Underworld. So what I'm doing now is just trying to like dig out like as much as possible to let as much light in as possible, because I'm telling you, working underground is a nightmare. I don't know if I need to like turn the gamma up or something. I'm thinking maybe that might be the solution. But you can see it's like there are times when it's just literally pitch black. You can't see a damn thing. And I like the more I work down there, the more it's like, God, I wish I'd done this first, like done the bottom floor of the Underworld, and had like a completely open top, and then filled the top in over the top of the Underworld, and then done the stuff on top, the heaven part. But hey, you know, it's easy with hindsight. What I'm doing now is I'm building up the volcano that's going to be in the middle of this, what is going to end up being like quite a big cavern down in the Underworld. And I'm just trying to shape it at the moment and try and get kind of a volcano shape. Now, I just want to point out to you, right, if you look at how much trouble I'm having just getting this to look like a simple volcano shape, imagine how much trouble I would have trying to create like an actual statue of a dragon or a gargoyle or something. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Now, these are the signs that I'm going to use to create a lava effect. And at one point, I thought I was going to have like a pool of lava around the kind of the base of the volcano. But then I kind of decided, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to kind of do the top of the volcano first and then kind of see how that looks, and then I'll go from there. So I ended up taking that out. But you can see, like, sometimes you can see what's going on, and sometimes nothing. So I decided to dig another hole to try and in fact, I dug 2 holes to try and let some light into kind of the area at the back of the volcano, because I just couldn't see what the hell I was doing. I mean, even now you can see how ridiculously dark it is. So I'm like constantly enlarging these holes to just try and let some more light in. But eventually I got something that's, kind of just about workable. I can pretty much see everything that I need to see. So once I got the shape that I wanted, I then started putting those signs in place. And I have to say that, again, with hindsight, I should have done it a different way, and I'm still not sure what the best way to do it would have been. God, this took me a long time. You know what? It's funny when you watch it back. I didn't realise that it took me this much time. Right, so here we go. So I'm starting to put these signs out. Now, the first mistake that I think I made was to put them horizontally. I should have put the sign vertically, because the kind of effect that I'm trying to ultimately create is like lava running down, and it would have definitely been better if I'd put these kind of running vertically rather than the signs oriented vertically rather than horizontally. And I do put some vertical ones in a little bit later. And the other thing is, this I'm not quite sure of, but you'll see, like, as we go on and I start covering this up with rocks, which is what I'm going to start doing, that, like, I could probably have done this a different way and, like, put the rocks on and then maybe sunk the signs in where I needed the signs to be. Because you'll see that ultimately there's going to be very little of the red actually showing. Like, the majority of it's going to be covered up. But I don't know. I think, yeah, it's kind of difficult to know. I think it might have been, like, more difficult and more time consuming to try and do it that way. But I don't know. And I probably won't know until I've actually, like, completely finished it. But the main point is, does it end up looking good? That's the key thing. And I'm kind of watching it now. It's kind of funny to watch it back. And now this is on 10 times speed. And like this entire time lapse is about 2.5 hours worth of building. And using rocks, I find, takes so long. Now I was talking about when Silverette built his mountain out of rocks, and somebody else left a comment and said, "Oh, I did something like that, and it took me like 45 minutes." I'm like, how the hell can you do something like that in 45 minutes? Like, seriously. Like, the only way you can do it is if you're not using a good variety of rocks and not, like, rotating every one and sinking them into different levels. I mean, to come up with something that, like, actually looks, like, really good, you gotta spend time on it. I mean, I think it's horrendously time consuming. But hey, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I'm just not doing it a clever way or something. But yeah, it just takes time. And what I'm trying to do now is, like, cover up all of the gaps and cover up as much of the yellow bits as possible. I don't mind a few yellow bits showing, but primarily I just kind of want little red bits to kind of represent the lava. And then what we're going to do ultimately, like, once this is all covered up, is I'm going to use some of the particle effects and put little bits of flame here and there. I'm not going to be using, like, the big flamethrowers, although I will be doing some other volcanic features which may use the big flamethrowers. This is going to use the like the ground flame effects and maybe the little tiny flamethrower. So yeah. And as you can see, as we start to get some kind of density to this, and you're just left with, like, kind of little bits of red showing through, I think we start to get, you know, the kind of effect that I could live with. But it's gonna take a long time, and it's certainly not gonna get finished now, and I'm about to tell you why. Okay, we're going to stop at that point because I've got freaking cramp in my hand. Oh, seriously, I've got serious mouse cramp. Holy hell. Okay, so, you know what, let's actually turn this on, shall we? And just so you know, I've got like 40 frames a second at the moment, which isn't too bad. Yeah, I've still got over 30 frames per second with it running. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so as you can see, our fountains are looking quite nice. And we've got our like big waterfalls coming down here. That's going to be very nice as well. And waterfalls coming down these tiers. When I've got a frame rate of about 2. Do you want to go and have a look down in the pit? I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. If you go down and have a look, because I kind of now have had a little bit of a break. I want to go and see if this is actually looking like what it's supposed to be looking like. And there's only like a little bit of it, which is kind of... And it's kind of this area here is kind of getting to where I want it to be. It's still got a long way to go. And obviously I've got to do the whole frickin' thing, which is like... Yeah, nightmare. Well, anyway. But, you know, I really should do this little top bit, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I do the little top bit? It still needs to be built up even more. Either that or I need to sink another ring of flames further down to kind of cover it. Because we don't want it to look like it's jets of flames. We want it like it is there. I mean, I guess I could take another ring of flames down. That might be the smarter move. Oh, yeah, that's kind of getting there. That's kind of getting there. But we'll leave it there for now. I think that's enough. I'm going to go rest my hand. Go and soak it in an ice bath for an hour. Not really. And I will catch you for the next one. Please, leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Do you like the radius there? I think it's awesome. Tell me what you think of the other rides. Tell me what you think of the underground, the Underworld. Tell me what you think about the terrain stuff, and I will catch you for the next one. Peace out.